Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to finish up our assessment practice for topic 13. So in your book, I need you to turn to page 525. We're starting with question number 8, and it reads, George wants to know if two pieces of wire are the same length. One wire is 6/8 foot, the other is 3/4 foot. Are they the same length? Fill in the fractions on the number line to compare the lengths of the pieces of wire. So I went ahead and crossed out, explain your answer. We're going to answer this with a comparison. So when I look at my number line, I know that I have to have one showing the eighths and one showing the fourths. So I'm going to use the top part of my line to represent the fourths. So I'm going to actually draw a box for my 0, a box for my, I'm going to put 0/4, and in this first box here, 1/4, in the second box, 2/4, in the third box, 3/4, and in this last box that I'm going to draw, I'm going above the 1 whole is going to be 4/4. Now on the bottom part of the line, I am actually going to do my eighths. Now I see that they only have 3 boxes, but we need to be able to represent 6/8. So on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and add a box here, and I'm going to add a box for each point on this number line so that I can make sure I am writing in all of my eighths points. So we'll start with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to fill them in. I start with 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. Now I'm going to look at the points that it was asking me to mark. The first one says one wire is 6/8 foot. So I'm going to find my 6/8 point, and I'm going to put my dot right there. And the second one said 3/4 foot. And when I find my 3/4, what do you notice? That's right, that both of these points represent the same point on the number line. So the question is, are they the same length? And the answer would be yes. Yes, they are the same length. And we would represent this with this equation. We would say 3/4 is equal to 6/8. Now this question on the test that it is like will be, switch my pens, number 5. So this one is like number 5 on the test. This question on the left, go ahead and write number 5 on the test. So when you take the test, you'll be able to look back at this question to see what we did to solve. Number 9. Leslie hiked 3/8 mile on Monday. On Wednesday, she hiked 3/6 mile. She hiked 3/4 miles on Friday. Use benchmark fractions to arrange the lengths of the hikes in order from shortest to longest hike. So now it's wanting us to figure out where would they plot on a number line. So I could take my number line, and the first thing I'm going to notice is I'm going to make a number line because we need to represent that whole. So I'm going to make 3 number lines. And then here's my third one. This is going to be 0 on each part of my number line, making sure they're lined up in the same space. And this one will be 1 because we are representing fractions of a whole. The first one is 3/8. So I'm going to separate this number line into eighths. Now 8 is an even number, so the first way I'm going to start is I'm going to put my halfway mark, and I know that half of 8 is 4, so this one is going to be 4/8. And if I fill in my other parts, I would have 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. And the plot that I'm going to mark is 3/8. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dot on 3/8. My next number line that I'm using, I'm going to represent with sixths. Now I know that 6 is an even number, and if I divide 6 by 2, I come up with 3. So right here in the middle is going to be 3/6. And then I'm going to divide. So I have 0/6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. Remember, a whole always has the same numerator and denominator. So I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to mark 3/6. 3/6 is halfway. Now, the last one I'm going to do that they're asking me to mark is 3/4. So I know that my number line is going to be divided into fourths, and if half of 4 is 2, I know that this fraction will be 2/4. And I have to mark my others in between. And so I would have 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. The plot that I'm going to mark this time is 3/4. So the question is asking me to order the fractions from shortest to longest for her hike. Now I'm going to look. The shortest fraction, the smaller fraction, the lesser fraction is going to be the one that's closer to the 0 benchmark. The greatest fraction will be closest to the 1 benchmark. And if I'm going to order these, I would see that the first fraction would be 3/8, and then 3/6, and then 3/4. Is there another strategy that we could have also used? We could have used the same numerator strategy to be able to fill in which one was the least. And actually, boys and girls, I'm going to erase that comma, and I'm going to use my comparison symbols so that I can clearly see that 3/8 is the smallest because the greater the denominator, the smaller the pieces. So 3/8, 3/6, and 3/4. So we could have used either strategy to solve. We used the benchmark strategy because that's what the directions were telling us to do. So let's look at number 10. A mural, oh, excuse me, boys and girls, I'm so sorry, we have to go back and mark. Number 9 on the practice is like number 7 on the test. All right, number 10. A mural is divided into 3 equal parts. What fraction represents the entire mural? So I'm going to go ahead and draw a quick picture. Here's my mural, and it's divided into 3 equal parts. And it wants to know what fraction represents the entire mural. So I would look, and this would be 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. So I know that 3/3 represents the entire mural. And one way that we can make sure that we remember this is to, if we're talking about the whole, we need to remember that the numerator and the denominator are the same to represent one whole. Now, number 10 is like number 2 on the test. Number 11, Megan ate 3/4 of a cookie. Write an equivalent fraction for the amount of cookie Megan did not eat. Okay, so I'm going to draw a real quick cookie, and I know it's in fourths because she ate 3/4. So 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. So she ate 3/4, but the question is asking me, what is the amount she did not eat? And what do we have left over? We have 1/4 was not eaten. That's a sloppy N. So sorry. And number 11 is like number 10 on the test. So we're going to turn our paper over, and we're looking at number 12. Circle each fraction that is equivalent to 1. Explain your reasoning, and then give another fraction that is equivalent to 1 or equal to 1. Well, first of all, the reasoning, and I do want us to go ahead and write this on there once again, is the numerator and denominator will be the same to equal 1 whole. So I've got to look for the fraction that is represented by the same numerator and denominator, and I can see that 3/3 is equal to 1 because the numerator and denominator are the same. No for 3/6, no for 4/6, but 6/6 would be equal to 1. What would be another fraction you could write that would be equal to 1? It could be any number of options. I'm just going to go ahead and put 8/8. It could be anything as long as the numerator and denominator are the same. Number 13. Oh, again, I forgot to tell you which number this one is like. Number 12 is like number 6 on the test. Number 13. Use the number line to help order the fractions from the least to greatest. Then explain how you found your answer. So I look at this number line and I look at these fractions. Well, I'm going to have to draw another number line because I see 4th, 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 8th, and half. So I'm going to draw a number line right here that's going to represent 8ths. This one seems to be set up 1, 2, 3, 4 into fourths. So this number line would be 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. And so working with this one, this is still going to be my 0 point, and I'm going to make this one my 8ths. So this is going to be 0/8. I'm going to find my halfway point on my number line, which is right here. Half of 8 is 4, so this one is 4/8. I know my end point is going to be 8/8. And then I'm going to fill in my spaces in between. So I have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. So I'm going to take my point and I'm going to plot each one of these. So I've got 0/4 right here. I've got 1/4. I've got 4/4. I've got 6/8. And the one that I didn't make a separate number line for was the half. We know that the halfway point would be right here. So this one would be 1/2. Now I can order them from least to greatest. I would look at which one is my least dot that I made, and it would be 0/4. And I'm going to put a check mark by 0/4. What would be next as I follow along? I see that it would be 1/4. And I'm going to check that one off. Follow along. What dot do I come to next? Oh, it would be this one right here, the 1/2. 1/2. Put my check mark right there and continue following along. My next dot that I find is 6/8. So I'm going to check off my 6/8. And what is my last plotted dot? It would be 4/4. And check that one off. So we have now ordered our fractions in order from least to greatest. Number 13 is like number 7 on the test. Let's go to number 14. Eva and Landon had the same math homework. Eva finished 2/4 of the homework. Landon finished 2/8 of the homework. Conjecture, that means this is what they're saying. They're saying that Eva and Landon finished the same amount of their homework, and we're going to determine whether that is correct or not correct. So we're going to start by looking at our number lines, and we're going to fill in the missing points. So we should have this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. And for the other number line, which is 8, I'm going to add my 0/8. They have 1/8, and then it would be 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. Now we are going to put our points at 2/4 and 2/8. So they're saying Eva and Landon finished their same amount of homework. Did they finish the same amount of homework? No, comma. And then we're just going to state the 4ths is Eva's and the 8ths is Landon's. Who finished more homework? That's right. Eva finished more homework. All right, so we just plotted out to see. Now the other way we could have looked at this was we could have looked at the 2/4 compared to the 2/8. Our numerators are the same, but our denominators are different. And I know that the greater the denominator, the smaller the piece. So 2/8 would be less than 2/4. Therefore, 2/4 is greater than 2/8. And we could clearly see these are not equal fractions. Now, number 14 is like number 9 on the test. And finally, we have number 15. For each pair of fractions, write the equivalent whole number in the box. Now, remember, when we're looking at 16/4 and 8/2, we could use that trick of division. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So these fractions represent 4 wholes. We could do the same thing for the others. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Therefore, the whole number these fractions represent is 2. And the final one, 8 divided by 8 is 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Therefore, the whole number represented by these fractions is the whole number 1. This problem for number 15 is like number 8 on the test. Now remember, if this gets confusing, you could always draw a picture to show. For example, if we have 8/8 or 6/3, we could draw a picture to represent that. All right, boys and girls, so tonight you have no written math homework for you to complete, but if you wanted to go back and review any of the pages that we've already completed, you are more than welcome to do that. The final thing is, remember, when we take our test, you should have this paper out with you so you can look back to see how we solved these problems. All right, boys and girls, you have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later.